Someone filed a life insurance claim on me 8 years ago. They collected the money, closed the case, and then for 8 years I walked around completely alive while the government had me buried. I didn't find out until I tried to apply for a passport. The clerk typed in my details, frowned, typed them again, then called her manager over without making eye contact with me. The manager looked at the screen, then at me, then back at the screen. He said there was a problem with my records. He slid a printed page across the counter without a word. It was a death certificate. My full name, my correct date of birth, my ID number, every single detail accurate. Cause of death, drowning. I have never almost drowned in my life. I laughed. I thought it was a clerical error, a mixed-up ID number somewhere down the line. The manager still didn't laugh. I spent 3 days calling every institution that quietly decides whether you exist. Home Affairs, the records office, my bank, my employer, most of them showed me as alive, normal, no flags. But 2 didn't. The government death registry and one insurance database both had me listed as deceased. Claim paid out. Case closed. 8 years ago. I asked the insurance company who filed the claim. They said they couldn't release that information. I asked who the beneficiary was. Long pause. Next of kin, they said. I have no next of kin. My parents died when I was 19. No siblings, no spouse, nobody. I asked them to check again. They checked. The beneficiary listed on my policy was my mother. My mother who had died 6 years before I apparently did. Someone had collected a life insurance payout using a dead woman's name on a person who was still alive. I went back to my hometown for the first time in 11 years. I checked 3 cemeteries before I found it. A small headstone, my name, my birth date, a death date 8 years ago exactly. And beside it, a fresh bouquet of flowers. Not old, not plastic, recently placed. Someone was still visiting my grave. I sat in my car across the road for 2 hours. At 4 in the afternoon, a woman came through the gate, carrying another bouquet. I didn't recognize her at first, it had been too long. But then she turned toward the headstone, and I saw her face clearly. It was my aunt, my mother's sister. The aunt, I was told, had died in a car accident when I was 12. She was standing at my grave, alive, placing flowers on a headstone with my name on it. And she had no idea I was watching her from 30 meters away. I got out of the car. I don't remember deciding to, my legs just moved. She saw me from across the cemetery and stopped completely. The flowers fell from her hands. She looked like she had seen a ghost. Which I suppose to her she had. I didn't say hello, I didn't ask how she was alive, I just asked, why? She sat down right there between the graves and told me everything. 11 years ago, my mother hadn't died of a heart attack like I was told. She had been murdered by my father, a man I had never met, a man who never knew I existed. When my aunt found out he was searching for my mother's family, she made us both disappear the only way she knew how. She faked our deaths. She faked mine without telling me. She let me live 11 years, believing I was alone in the world, when she had been there the entire time. I asked her why she never came back. She said she had never left. She had watched me from a distance the entire time, made sure I was safe, made sure he never found me. I asked if he was still looking. She didn't answer immediately. That silence was its own answer. I asked where he was now. She reached into her bag and handed me a folded piece of paper without a word. A printed news article. A man arrested 3 weeks ago, charged with a cold case murder from 11 years prior. My mother's case. They had finally found enough evidence. He would never look for anyone again. My aunt picked the flowers up off the ground and placed them back against my headstone. Then she said, I think it's time we buried this properly. We stood there until the sun went down. 2 women the world thought were dead, standing over a grave with my name on it, finally letting it go.